Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Moin.
Dee, 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 dee,
Hola! See, there's a Jerry. Hello,
So-
Subdojo, Redverse, Deepitub, Alloyd, Rumbly, Dan Lee, Dave Hardbottle, and Orinoco Twitch. How's you all feeling in this hot weather?
I'm feeling like carnal knowledge.
Oh, that's I'm going to with this basic Guinness Stout.
I mean, the neck's too short for me to put my cock in. So, not sure how you're going to gain carnal knowledge of a Mexican brewery beer, but there you go. This is
off
the
work.
offspring twixt Irish and Belgian. So, I don't know what's going on with that. Imagine the bastard child of Limburger and myself.
Does
Really?
it contain French fries or waffles?
Phlegm.
Hello, great, but I'm Nick Crispin.
Your 9 come tomorrow, Crispin. That's 9. Damn. Is that who's coming tomorrow? I tell you what, I put together, they're called something like the Black Foundation. And there's like a dark elf scourge lady just hanging out with her chicken. It's a really nice model. But whenever I'm putting these together, I always go, oh, I could just put her head on, or I could put a mask on with a ponytail and a pipe running from her back to like a part of her face. That seems much more irritating to do. I'll do that one. But then at least I could tell you how fucking irritating it is whenever I do the unboxing and go, if you're building this, please bear in mind you will go fucking really sham, as I believe they say in France.
So, Alloyd, face diving into the asphalt from your bike isn't a good idea. You shouldn't do that. Deadly wind in your neck, and you only need to look straight onto the screen, so that's all fine. Dave is digesting a large calzone. Well, that's grand.
Sweet.
Hope you brought enough for everybody.
Oh no, I had a big pie for my dinner, don't I? Has anybody been keeping tabs on Letras?
On who, what now?
One of the shit newspapers in
No.
the UK, the Daily Star, has been running a live stream for the last 4 days of Liz Truss and a lettuce to see which one goes first. And it started off, it was just the lettuce on day one. But then they added eyes, and then somebody must have got Mr. Potato Head, and they put a wig on it, and then give it hands. And now every time you turn in, every now and again, there'll be like a plate of cocktail sausages, or like cheese and crackers, or a little glass of wine. So it changes depending on the time of the day. It's riveting viewing.
Have they already built the revolving door in number 10?
Not yet. It's totally weaker. Like, you've no idea.
That's just grand. Before we start with our projects, I guess I already know the answer, but Westphalia Kickstarter started an hour ago?
No, Westphalia Kickstarter started
2 hours?
2 hours ago.
Yeah.
5 o'clock started.
So, did you already back it?
Oh, fuck yes.
See, I know the answer. Rhetorical questions.
It's a great Kickstarter, by the way. For those who aren't aware, a randomer from Ukraine messaged Cafe one day and went, you should hire me to sculpt for you.
It's the best intro to a
ballsiest thing
Kickstarter ever.
Yeah, it's just a screen cap of the message.
You
from
should
Facebook.
hire me as a sculptor. Why?
So he got him to do it's like a little dungeon crawler set. It's super fucking small. It was just like 4 characters, but they all look like Ukrainian medieval or sort of early medieval
And the big
thing. So
chungus.
there is a dwarf, there is an elf, there is a paladin, but they all look kind of Slavic in old style dress. And then they were going, okay, we'll do that. And then Boris sculpted what they're calling the tank, massive hammer and sickle wielding evil demon monster,
With
and
gigantic horns.
yeah, and also a little a next door neighbor. She's from one country over. It's like a Polish shield bearer to chuck in as well. The sculptor's in Ukraine, and when last I heard, his town had just gone under attack. That was about 2 weeks ago, so they weren't sure what sort of coverage they would get from him over the next few weeks. So he's already been paid for the sculpts, but he's going to retain the rights, and they get an ongoing 35% of the profits will just be going to him as well. So I'm just going, fuck it.
I have
Slavia
no idea how you would pronounce the Kickstarter.
It's heroes. It's the Cyrillic for heroes.
Oh, so it's heroi.
Sure, could be.
Because there's no H in Cyrillic.
If you'll find them, they're mostly on
They're
OTT,
actually
I did
on
a
the
story
front
about them
page
ages
right
ago.
now. And I'll just where's chat? There's chat. There's link chat. You go, you look, you back, you enjoy. Glorious.
I mean, the figures themselves are really nice, and then Boris's ridiculous tank's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, looks like
The
MacLeod dude with sickle and hammer.
Yeah, the evil monster from across the border coming in, kicking their shit in, knocking
He looks
stuff
a
around.
bit like a character from the Demon
out.
Souls video games.
Sure, I don't know them.
Well, you know the board game. You've seen the ridiculous monsters there, so.
Is that like Dark Souls?
Yes.
Yes, then yes. Yeah, I've seen those.
Souls he likes. So you go
Oh,
watch
that's
that.
a good call, yeah. I'm getting 2, because I have to get one for Lena as well.
Forbidding Psalm. Oh.
Yeah, Forbidden Psalms is the skirmish version of Mjorkborg, or Mjorkberg, whatever it is, the creepy heavy metal game.
So what do we have from our dearest community today?
Well, I could tell you, but then I have to kill you. No.
Fine by me.
I'm going to kick things off with some Star Wars. It's War in the Stars.
Annihilation looms.
Yeah.
Says Greystoke.
So this is actually Star Wars Legion. A couple of army lists, and the promise of more battle reports and stuff. This was completed, so we've been here. Well, I've been here before, so you need to go down, deeper and down to see other shit. But the reason I'm aiming you at this is because even though it had been marked completed, he snuck a cheeky "there'll be a new battle report coming soon" teaser in a week or so ago. So if you aren't already aware that this exists, there's a really nice battle report, including all the lists, the cards, and blah, blah, blah. And then a whole photo montage, gallery style Bat-Bass rep, splitting the rounds so you can see what the shit is going on and what's being used where, and his use of fake plastic aloe plants and stuff for the tabletop, which is really good. Get them out of the bathroom and onto the gaming table.
And also a practical use of taking pictures from above.
Yes, I quite like that because it's even got like the deployment zone type things and stuff on it. It's cool. Which just goes to show, despite his lack of, there's Christ there. I know this is why we're here. I'm telling people that you've threatened a new one, and that's why they should be here. But yeah, despite his lack of dry brushing brain matter beige on things, I mean, it looks quite nice nonetheless. All his work, his hard work done with his graphical display. I quite like there's a dice roll later on where it's just nothing but blanks, and all I could think of was I've seen those before. That is a face of a dice I see on a regular occasion.
Rolling blanks is always depressing.
There's for me.
Oh, oh God.
Yeah. Oh, that's not. Oh no, that's nothing. That's only 5. No, there's a bigger one than that. I think it was with Jin. Who rolled those?
Oh.
Must be somebody terrible. Like, yeah, no, it was Jin shot the bed later on.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's the old pepper.
7 blanks. That's beyond statistically possible.
And yet, there it is. Now, I would like to point you towards the Lloyd can, where he shows people how to bake their dice at 180 degrees. That's 160 degrees Celsius in a fan-assisted oven for 20 minutes.
Well, we could always ask Lloyd how he does it.
He wouldn't tell you. He doesn't want to give those kind of state secrets away. But yeah, it's just it's a beautifully comprehensive battle report. I also really like there's a set of steps going up and over a pipe. There they are. And it's a really small thing. I'm pretty sure they're just a little half section from Terrain Crate from Dead Zone.
Yeah, it looks like it.
But I really like the fact that, because in real life, if you had something like that, there would be ways for people to cross it without having to go all the way around, simply for access purposes. And it's just a really simple bit of terrain. It's like the plants. I was talking about the plants earlier as well. Just really simple things like that just make it so much, not better, but more realistic, I suppose.
Here's the teasing.
There's the teasing. So good he had to tease it twice.
Mm.
That's obviously not a feature of the project system there. that was...
It's not a bug. It's a
feature. If it was a bug, we'd have to remove it.
It adds value because it duplicates entries. More entries, bigger blogs, bigger website, more SEO.
Right, is that how that works?
Basically, if you believe the words of Google, yes.
I don't believe anything Google say.
At least not since they deleted the mantra, not be evil. Which I find is the most telling tale that a company is going to be evil if they remove that from their halls.
Yep. Very much so. Very much so. Look at how shiny the Death Troopers are. So shiny.
They've got enough time to polish their stuff.
Shiny and shiny and shiny.
Shiny, happy people holding hands.
Could be.
Some fleet troopers all dead. Dead.
Yeah, but that's kind of what they're there for, isn't it? I mean, has anybody ever seen them survive an encounter?
Nope. Not one.
Yeah, they are very much the chaff. They are the Russian mobilization being sent to the front line with their training. By the way, did anybody see the corker out of Russia, I want to say 2 days ago, with their mobilization?
No.
There was another shooting at a mobilizing post, and it went kind of like this. The people were a mix from like Tajikistan, Dagestan, Uzbekistan, and some, like all the stands. Very heavily Muslim countries, and there were a lot of them standing around going, "Why are we here? This isn't our war. We shouldn't be fighting this." And then the leader said, "It's a holy war." At which point the Tajiks, who are very religious, went, "A holy war is a war between Muslims and infidels. Not this. This isn't that." At which point a colonel then said, "What kind of a coward is Allah if you can't even fight a war for the country you've sworn an oath to?" There was some frantic talking amongst the Tajiks, who then told some of the other Muslim people at the post to move out of the way. They then shot the commander and the colonel multiple times, and then turned around and unloaded into the non-Muslim members of the blob, killing another 32 of them before being taken out.
Oh.
Going, that's how you wage a holy war. Oh, so fucking good. So fucking good.
That's really...
There's another colonel dead. Didn't even need a Ukrainian to get involved in that one.
And he didn't even jump out the window.
No, didn't suicide, didn't die from COVID complications in a hospital. None of those. It's all good. Anyway.
So what's our next hobby?
Oh, I don't know. It's just so good. Stumpy. Stimpy Stumpy.
Stumpy, he says.
Could be.
Oh, sporadic fantasy upcycling.
Yes.
By Stumpy. Oh, now
Stumpy.
I see.
Yeah, Stumpy. So Stumpy, I'm pretty sure I've told people to go to Stumpy stuff before anyway.
Yes.
But this one, I seen the other week when he was showing off, and I always like watching his stuff because, he's got them on the wrong bases, can't be helped. However, I do like watching him paint up his old Hammer figures and stuff, and I just sit there going, got him, got them, they're nice. I use him for my paymaster. Shake your dosh can fuck off.
Oh, I just love these Kev Adams sculpts.
Yeah, the goblins are sweet. Sweet like candy. But yeah, it's just an interesting little project because occasionally, I think very occasionally, there might be one or two pictures in it, but mostly these days it's videos. So you can get in there and you can just scroll through and watch the thing doing the do. I believe that was a Kickstarter, was it, at one stage, where they'd got old lines from a couple of companies and were it may actually be Cricket Dice. I've been doing it. Anyway, I digress.
These little buggers have so much character to them.
Oh, Dan, is that the one with the female? I don't know whether she was an instructor or commander or medic or something, but she's just going, just talk to your mums and your wives and your girlfriends. You need to bring this shit with you. You need to get all this shit yourself because we're not supplying any of it. Yeah, that's so good. But yeah, there's a reason why Kev is called the Goblin Master. Have you ever seen his new stuff that is actually the Goblin Master website?
I don't think so.
Expensive, but oh my Christ. He did a new snortling pump wagon and it's ridiculously expensive. But I need one for my mincer. for Kings of War.
How expensive is expensive?
Do you want to know how expensive it is? I'll put it in the fucking chat. It's £70 fully loaded, but the treadmill of hubris is particularly good because it has goblins, I think, pissing into a dwarf's mouth, and he's on the treadmill moving it forward. He wrote a whole story about how they. Yeah. Ooh. Oh yeah. That's what happens when you've got to get your cost back of your sculpts, your time, and the manufacturing. None of it's cheap these days.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, there it is. There, unbeknownst to the dwarves, the boglets urinate in the barrel to keep it topped up. They also add fungus to produce a slightly hallucinogenic and intoxicating liquid that fool the dwarves into believing it's ale. So I mean,
that's a gigantic piece of.
Oh, it's fucking enormous. Absolutely enormous. The award for the most digitally sculpted face goes to the Rough Riders. I've not looked up close at the Rough Riders yet. I noticed one of them had like a chin strap, like Tony Stark, whenever his Iron Man helmet flips up. But yeah,
I'm totally not putting a bookmark on this.
No, you definitely shouldn't. No, not a bit of
it. That ends up badly.
Oh, of course it would. Why would it not? but yeah, Stompy does some interesting stuff. Does a lot of Oathmark and I think Age of Sigmar as well. I think Saga Age of Magic. So the stuff's based. He can use it for anything. Lots of squares. He could use it for more. Can't watch that.
Figures.
By the way, that's a good point. Because I recorded a video the other day about how to start Saga in case people keep whining like bitches, which I would just link that whenever they whine at me again about how you start playing Saga. But it was at that point I realized Saga Age of Magic isn't up there. Does anybody know where I put my Saga Age of Magic book? Can anybody remember the last time I held it up in front of camera? because the battle boards are here. They're in my battle board file. That's fine. Nobody can take that away from me. But building the actual army lists without the book is a pain in the hole. So, and I know it's not here because I've looked here. Anybody?
Maybe you took it to the store?
No, the only time it was up there was whenever I was trying to teach Warren and Lloyd how to play, which was tricky because Warren was at the table for less than one full turn, but that was spread out over 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and then he went, "Oh, I've got to go. It's very late. I didn't think it would take so long." It's like, you've not been here for more than 30 seconds at a time, and you wander off.
Yeah, Taurus, we could blame Paul or Shay.
I don't think, Paul. No, because I was going to break it down to show Shay, and he went, "No, it's okay. We're going to do one-page rules instead." I went, "Fine." Otherwise, I'd have realised about 3-4 weeks ago that it wasn't on my shelf. So I've put it somewhere clever.
I guess Demon Sub is onto something. Your room has developed L space.
Oh, fuck. That is a very valid
miniatures
point.
Have got
knowledge
so dense.
Equals power equals time.
Yeah, so it all goes into itself.
That's all right, because I'm protected.
Evening, Cookie Steak Gator, and thank you for the follow.
I've got.
You got your yarn.
I've got my yarn in case I need to go around place. So. You sold Paul Age of Magic. Oh, that's good. So at least one of us has the book. Cool. Cool. There's Adrian as well.
So maybe Taurus sold your book.
No, he wouldn't have had the battle boards and stuff. No, I'm gonna have to go looking for it, and nobody is more annoyed than I because I'm very lazy at the best of times.
Jamascats, welcome.
Jamascats. Fucking, they're all coming in now.
It's not late.
They're all hoping to hear football commentary, but it's tomorrow's the match, so you've got to wait. I was gonna record the Liverpool City game and rerun that for you.
So after a quick stompy, what's next?
So Noggin the Bad.
Kings of War.
Noggin the Nog.
Gold.
Will this update? Yeah, it will. Twice. Now, this is just so people can poke it with sticks, because we've all seen in the House of Water, #BestHouse, more of the Earth Elementals appearing. And there's been a bit of a, here's how my games went, which, is nice. It's not bad. I'll take a how my game went and a kind of a breakdown, takeaway from what happened, what went well, what went wrong, a dissection of your army list and how shit's gone down. However, a battle report, Noggin.
I just can't stop watching these rocks.
No, never give up. That's what that's only there because it wants to separate the weak. You need to double down on that shit and keep hitting update until it spams full of stuff. However, interesting thing for me, because there's a few people I watch who do battle reports. There's quite a lot of people I watch who do battle reports. However, I think out of all of them, only one actually at the end of the battle report, he goes, "What are my takeaways? This did X. I thought it was going to do Y. This didn't work at all in the role, which I put it in there. I think I need to have this, this, and this." And I think that's because I didn't see it in Greystoke's Star Wars one either. But I think it's a good way of getting better at the game is to actually analyze how your games have gone. And I don't think
action analysis.
And I don't think we do that particularly often. I used to when I used to play with Dougie and Tony. After a game, we would sit there and we would go, "Oh, well, that's appalling. I need to work on that. Your army's filth. However, I think I'm going to stick with my army because I think I can work out how to beat you." I just need to apply more pressure at a point or a hammer to your Cromwells, whatever it happened to be. But I really like seeing somebody actually going in and going, you know what, this army needs this to work for me, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, I'm totally on Demon Sub's side. I blame the dice. My list is perfect, totally, absolutely nicely balanced.
I seen the Great Earth Elemental in the best house. Oh, next Wednesday's 1,500-point game. Ooh.
Did you ask Warren for a few of his really big rocks? Better not.
Do you know what you're facing yet, Dave? Just curious. I know there's obviously a time delay as well, so I'm not gonna wait for an answer immediately because it's like a 20-second delay. Oh, Twiglets. We'll just keep referring to them as Twigletkin until he cracks. It's go, your army's so terrible as being an army that they've taken it out of the new rulebook. If you can get a bag of Twiglets and just take them out of your pocket at some point, start eating them in front of him very purposefully, one at a time. That's a good way of doing it.
So what wonders after the dwarves?
Sorry, I'm distracted there. I was rereading this after action and trying to work out answers for some of the things for him. Should probably do that later when we're not on camera. Anyway, yes, battle report, great. After action report, still good. We'll just feed them to somebody else. Feed them to your opponent. If I could teach him.
Or just crush them in your hand and sprinkle them over the gaming table.
Yeah, whenever you eat your throwing dogs, you eat throw your throwing dogs, you eat the Haribo. We used to play 2 leagues of Blood Bowl in GW Belfast, and one was called the Curling Special, and the other was the Tenant Super League. And they're both like high strength lagers and both disgusting. And before each game, during like a Wednesday night game, you would have to chug a beer. And then we also, because we had the 2 leagues, we would sometimes do like cup games where it was interleague. And before the interleague match, you had to drink your opponent's league's beer. So having to chug a can of Tenant Super or Carlsberg Special, it's fucking filth.
Doesn't really sound appealing. Hello, Pete.
So bad. So very bad. Multi-base some Twiglets.
So next project, please.
You keep asking, but you're not going to get it. You've made me press F12 now, and some sort of massive wall of creepy text has appeared.
Oh no!
Please fuck off. There we go.
Warcry.
Yes. Proof once again that bullying works. So Draconis has pushed on, having done all the training. They're now starting to get stuck into the actual tiny fighting men. And they're not looking too badly at all, it has to be said. There's use of quick shades and stuff to try and get things up and done and onto the table in double quick fashion. Pardon me.
Get more shit done more quick.
Prevaria 8.6. Oh, that brings me back. Nothing wrong with Tenant Super. Tenant Super was filth soup. I remember you used to get it and you'd peel. You could peel the label off the can, and underneath was McEwen's. McEwen's they used to have. Remember they used to have like the page 3 cans, and that was underneath the Tenants. So it was just like relabeled. Yeah, relabeled. Fucking Tenant Super. Fucking filth. Anyway.
I mean, technically nothing wrong with relabeling stuff, but you should remove the old label first.
Oh, you couldn't because they were printed on the cans. It was McEwen's, wasn't it? They used to have the page 3 girls on the tins. I'm waiting. Soap will know. He's probably still got his collection. But I will point out, he says his hands are too shaky and his eyes are too fucked to paint eyes on things. However, he's still gone ahead and attempted to paint eyes on some of the things and hasn't done a bad job of it. So the rest just got heavily shaded, like they're members of some sort of emo band from the 80s. But then there's the one with the big bear claws, Wolverine looking fucker, going full Keith Flint with massive starry eyes.
Oh yeah.
Tenants don't remember.
What you're looking at? What you're
Tenants
looking
did,
at?
don't remember McEwan's doing it. So it was a blue can with it. Because I remember Tenants used to do it, but then stopped. But then we peeled these labels off and discovered birds underneath. It was a gift they kept on giving.
So there's the end of the scenery.
Yes, well, we'd seen that already. I certainly had, anyway. So it's just the tiny fighting men's. I want to say that's half of the men, because there's like 2 war bands, presumably,
Yeah.
who have names. One of which is named after one of the paints, so that's handy. At least you know where to put it. You've got the Darkoth, and you put the Darkoth flesh on them. Boosh, done, dusted.
You just dip them and you're good to go.
Yep. I don't know who the spider people are, or whether or not they have a spider people flesh. But it means another step done, and realistically, let's face it, that's, you know, one more band short of my first battle report of Warcry.
I just love how happy this little
He is so happy.
Whee! I've got a swing.
Somewhere there's a golden button thing, and if you right click, you know the way you can right click and save pictures, and you'll see what they've been named as, and it's got something like that. It's like the happiest skeleton you'll see.
Such a happy skelly.
Where there's the ones all pushing the wheel that have died. It's like by Crom, nobody save Conan. Anyway.
Yeah, lovely project.
Yeah, it just goes to show you can do it when, you know, you're browbeaten into it by some twat off the internet who sends you a prize.
And just for being an
No job.
receptacle for some online content.
Receptacle for online content.
This is how they get you. First fix is free, and then you need to pay up.
Could be a way of doing it. Anyway, they managed to get back from Wales without being murdered by any of the Welsh. Constantly wandering about screaming "die" at people. Die! Die!
And nobody got a die for him.
I
So
discovered yesterday that the Swedish for goat and baby goats
killer.
is killing. Yeah, so and bigger goat is a get. So get killing. I'm surprised there are not more psychopaths coming out of Stockholm.
There is a reason to some people existing. So after Warcry, what lies beyond? Happy Skellybobs.
Oh no, how are we going to get Ivor out of the valley? Next we have...
Denzian.
That's his name, don't wear it out. Some civilians, including one of those delightful little walking carriages that Commander Vimes likes so much. Don't put me in the sedan chair, I'll drive today myself. So he's gone all 18th century piratey. They are really nice models in there. From Ratnik Miniatures, which I want to say is a new one on me. It's entirely possible I knew about them and then I blanked it in the past. I'm not sure. However, regardless, I'll definitely be paying them a visit in the future.
The only thing with these kinds of minis that annoys me a bit is they come with their own little tiny base, and unless you've got a washer where they fit inside, you always have this ridge.
No, what do you mean you always have this ridge? Just putty up to it, you won't have a ridge. You lazy man.
Nobody got time for that.
Now I'm looking at that, I think I do know Ratnik, because they all look like Mr. Hicks sculpts. I'm sure I've seen these civilians for a different time period from these people. Anyway, I'm going to close that window so I don't get distracted and buy anything.
For
Yeah.
now.
A whole host of civilians wandering about, getting ready to be butchered. It's all good in the hood.
Why does people always need to get butchered? Can't they just get along?
I don't understand the question.
Oh, look, Lloyd, train.
Yes, for a don't look back scenario, he got it, but it does sterling work for the Wiki Wiki Waba. I've actually got some cowboys beside me. In fact, I've got a fucking mountain of cowboys. I'll start pinning up those. Also, if anybody knows where I've put the other, there's 4 more female cowboys. So I've got 4 cowgirls that I made from the plastic box. I fucking no clue where I put them.
In a box?
I didn't think so, because I put all those in the box. And I went, well, at least all the cowboys and cowgirls are together. And then it turned out they're not. I have more than enough for whatever I want to fucking play for Dead Man's Hand, so it doesn't matter. But, you know, it'd be nice to find them for novelty value, if nothing else.
That's a tripping danger. Look at the spacing between the planks.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody's going to be worried about the insurance for that.
You don't think so?
With the Saga Age of Magic rulebook, the clever bastards. Clever. No, I found the Submariner soap and I put the Submariners with the submarine down there, and they're together and safe, and I can't lose them. I say that actually, no, they're not. They might be over there. But the Submariners are close, but they're either under there or over there, and I know where they are. Because I'm going to play a game of 0-200 hours, and I want the
U-boat?
I want the boot in harbour, and that's also why I've got Indiana Jones from Germany, who's currently sitting here. So I got Indiana Jones because I've got my Ark of the Covenant and a U-boat, and off we go. And theoretically there'll be a 0-200 hour game there.
Don't you just love it when different weird pop culture references fit together that nicely?
I've painted them a bit. They've got all the block colours on them. You know what the best part of finding them was? Soap. You know what the best part of finding them was? Soap. You know what it was? Soap. There was actually a squad of German Marines and with them. I'd completely fucking forgot I had them. Huh? Yes, you're right. Classic. Good times. Anyway, yeah. So Dad's in with his Western whores and railroads and stuff. And sure, wouldn't you know, I'm from Donegal on a mug.
A red pack for 0200 hours. The only red pack I know is the weird musical combo from
Dean Martin. Sammy Davis.
That's the only red pack I know. Goes to show how ignorant I am regarding the war. Don't mention the war.
Do not mention the war.
Yes, Denzian does interesting, nice little historical
battle action.
Thingamajigs.
Never read that. Similar to Commando, presumably. Yeah.
The strange man on the telly box has gone all squeaky. I don't know who she is referring to now.
Presumably you.
That's quite fair.
Yep. At least you haven't mentioned Hitler this week.
Oh, I have. You weren't listening.
I never listened to you.
See?
In case you mentioned Hitler. It gives me plausible deniability.
Next project, please. I'm not any of your leadership politicians.
Right. I've got a special reserve, a red triple, and carnal knowledge. Which one do I drink next?
Reserve. Come on, red.
Reserve. Okay.
Drowned Earth bases. So this is a project
Kitchen.
just for bases by Defective Dice.
Yep. Well, partly. Also, that foamed up quite a bit. Now I've got sweet nectar all over my desk, and I'm not licking it off because my desk is not clean. So that one has been poured out to the gods. Yes, defective dice. Well, there's a couple of things. Obviously, it's the start of Drown Earth and doing a bit of work with some cheeky basery who will say, don't use green stuff. I would type it into him, but what's the point? He'd already done it like a month ago. But if you're unaware of DD, he does a lot of, I'm going to say, smaller games. He's massively into his Malifaux and has a YouTube channel where he's been doing things like the lore of Malifaux and blah blah blahs and such. He's so right up there that Weird sent him previews of some of the upcoming cards for some new releases and characters, and so there was a video premiered last week where he, it was a first look at them, and he goes through and talks about it in detail. It was some Crown faction members running about the place with massive fuck off walking cannons and huge fuck off cannons and a lot of cannons. What was written on this paper?
Did
Is
it
this
have
for
cannons?
work? It was for work, but thankfully I've written in pencil, so that's okay. It'll dry out eventually. But yeah, so one, it's to let people know that he's working on Drowned Earth, which I think is a really good game. It doesn't get enough of a look in. I know Justin talks about it a lot, but then he talks about a lot of games a lot. No, just just.
I don't think I've heard much about Drowned Earth for a long time.
No, they've done. I was going to wave a box. Oh, it's there. Raptor Claw Island has just come out from the Kickstarter, which is like a light version of Drowned Earth, which I've got to try and then see, because I know Drowned Earth was a thing that existed, but it's not something I've really looked at too much. But the dinosaurs are really cute, and I like the some of the character models that I've seen in the past were really nice as well. So it's like, oh, yeah, fuck it, let's have a look at this. Because I could be swayed by a small, weird skirmish game like that, just for novelty value, just to give me something to fuck around with.
While we were on the subject of don't use green stuff, what would you use to fill larger gaps on a model?
On a model, Milliput.
Milliput comes in different colors.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Whatever one you can get.
Okay.
Whatever Milliput you can get your hands on, and then once it's on there, get yourself a soft brush and some rubbing alcohol, and you can blend that bastard right out, and it will just it'll just fucking fade away. It'll mask it. It's stonking.
Because here's the dragon without wings.
Sexy black is nice though.
There's a huge gap going on both sides where the wings should go, and this needs to be filled.
Who's that? Where's that from?
That's the D&D Collector's Edition Adult Red Dragon.
Oh.
That's the one I got back.
Is there a squirrel in the game, Nick? I didn't know that. Oh, nobody even told me about that.
A squirrel in Drowned Earth?
The different colours are... It's not so much setting times, because a lot of them have a very similar set time, but they're rated like silver grey is super fine, red, the terracotta one is meant to be very sort of, for repairing terracotta pots and stuff. It's a bit rougher, it's not as smooth. So it's meant to be the smoothness. However, I've never seen a difference between the standard yellow grey, the super fine silver, and the black. They all, for what we use it for, gap filling and shit like that, the difference is not noticeable at all. But where it wins out over green stuff for me is that it can be carved, sanded smooth, shaved, drilled, and all the rest, whereas green stuff is rubbery.
Yeah.
And if you don't get a perfect gap fit and a seamless blend while it's still being
malleable,
it's so apparent that you've just stuffed some. You may as well just use blue tack and super glue at that point.
Yeah, that's. I don't have a problem with using it for big inside gaps where there's no detail, where and I just use the Vallejo putty from the squeezing bottle.
Yeah.
Because that
Oh yeah,
works
yeah.
on small details very well, blends
But
easy.
there's amount of shrinkage with the plastic putty that if you're filling a big gap, you will
Yeah,
find that.
that's why I'm not using it on this.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to get myself some Billy Pot.
I mean, it's not really raised in price in the 30 odd years I've been using it. I think the first time I bought Milliput, it was like £2, and I think these days it's like £3, maybe £3.50.
Yeah. As Alloyd says, green stuff or near-dyed is a glorified wood filler.
it's what dentists use to make a mold of your teeth. It's very good for molding stuff. See, standard yellow grey. I think at the back of this I've got super fine silver, but whatever the fuck you have.
Yeah,
whatever you can find locally and cheap is the best Milliput to use.
Yeah, I'll need to place an order anyhow with my.
There you go, $2.95. That's so cheap.
My 8-year-old wants you to say hi to me. Hello, Greystoke.
Hi to him.
Why
are you letting your child watch? Why are you letting your child watch this with all the swearing and Hitler talk that Tim does?
No. Hello, Henry.
Say hooray, Henry.
Hallo, Henry. Willkommen in diesem nicht für Kinder geeigneten Stream.
Very good.
Well, what's next?
Other things.
Oh,
this one I put in just for Ben.
I thought as much, and I have got the sneaking suspicion this might pop up again.
Only if he spots it. A battle report, you say, and Lord of the Rings.
And they've got Mumakils.
They're just glorified elephants. Elephants with shacks. That's all they are.
And spiky bits.
Yeah. However, there are a couple of notable things for me in this. One, obviously the battle report's great. Look at the arrows explaining what's going on, up to and including things like my cousin's hand, dwarves attacking, knights going over here. It's so great. I love all of that. But he has I want to say it was like the Osgiliath walls or something like that. The resin walls that GW released that look great but were incredibly expensive, and you only had enough to put in a corner of a board. But in between that's a Renedra tower, which gives me a really good idea of what a Renedra tower is size-wise. Because I keep looking at them on the site and going, I mean, £290 for the big castle with all the trimmings. I could fucking have that. It'd be great. So great.
Yeah, I feel that's something most miniature companies can step up their game in showing some size comparison.
Sorry, I just seen Crispin. Henry, let me tell you about my day. We were one step away from Crispin going full police squad. Do you remember the crime lab in Police Squad? It's like,
yeah, I think
tell
so.
me, Timmy, have you ever seen a grown man naked? Smoked a cigar.
Oh, while we're on that subject and Lord of the Rings, I bet you have seen that meme where they put the detective into Elrond's place, and this is the ring, and we need to destroy it. What is the ring? This round object in front of you, but that's not the point.
It's not important right now. I haven't seen that now. Siege is back in Kings of War, yeah, with a couple of changes. On the Kings of War forum, somebody was talking about it for so long. It was like, you know what? I'll write you a new version for 3rd edition because it won't take much to tweak 2nd to make it work in 3rd. So I'll be curious to see what the actual official rules are like compared to my version. Was I close?
For a second, I thought you said there's Zinj in Kings of War.
No, Siege. Not to be confused with the Zinj, which is where you find diamonds and albino gorillas.
That's an awful lot amount of pointy arrows.
Yeah, oh yeah. but it's great because you know exactly who you're. I mean, you're looking at tiny fighting things and you're going, who are they? Well, I know who they are. That's a big galvy bucket of dwarves sallying forth. Most people would sally forth cavalry, but these cheeky buggers have sallied forth dwarves. While the cavalry stand behind going, look at their tiny legs run. They really are natural sprinters.
Creepy Castellan.
Yep. All of that and so
Unseen
much.
Castellan.
But yeah. So it's really nice. It's a really nice setup. You get full army lists later on, all numbered, so you can see what they're doing there. I've not played Lord of the Rings strategy battle, so I don't know if 3,822 points is a lot.
Sounds like it.
What I will say though is it can't. It's all in front of the walls. It's not actually a siege because they both have roughly the same points value. And I don't think there were ever actually siege rules in Lord of the Rings.
The siege, to be proper siege, would be in was it asymmetric game, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you, I think they accepted is somewhere between sort of 4-1 and 10-1, depending on the actual defenses. What you need to break a siege. Just going for mass battle. But look at that. Look how nice that Renedra tower sits between those. I mean, I wouldn't look for those resin walls because they will cost you an arm and a leg. But I mean, that Renedra tower is gorgeous.
Yeah,
I should just buy one of those castles.
And design-wise, it fits
perfectly.
perfectly.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it paints up and fits in really nicely.
And the walls for the castle are actually very easily to make with XPS foam.
Oh yeah, if you get yourself one of those cutlery things and stuff.
Yes.
And away you go. And then you just need to find something for the merlins on the crenellations on the top. But I mean, that's relatively simple.
There's a YouTube video out there
dowel.
for that.
Oh yeah.
And he already linked the Renedra tower.
Oh yeah, I didn't. The minute I seen the corners on the top of the tower, I knew where it was from. Because I open it once every 2 or 3 months and go, and then close it again.
Does your bank account start to scream every time you open the page?
No, because here's the thing. I spend more than the castle in a month on toy soldiers. It would just mean getting that instead of something else.
You know? Yeah, it's a chunky boy you need to put out somewhere.
It's probably the biggest thing. I mean, once I've got it, how much use will I get out of it? No.
Oh, look, the tower isn't too...
There are options because you can change some of the walls. They do like additional window. See that little window set there and stuff? So you can get additional wall sections without those or with those and all sorts of shit. And then arrow slots and stuff. I'm looking at it going, you know what would look amazing? My 15mm Crusader army coming out of that castle would look the dog's ball bag. It would just look so good.
It's a piece.
Exactly done. Look at it. Sweet.
Yeah, I've got to give it to them. That's a nice looking piece of furniture.
Yeah, and because it's all modular, even if you don't use it, it could sit in the corner of a thing where you can just use the tower in a game or blah,
or
blah, blah.
Or make a very long wall.
Just so good. Yeah. We're getting a big bonus from Business Daddy this Christmas. I might treat myself. I mean, I could pay off some of the ridiculous incoming bills for heating and electricity, or I could get myself.
Or you could just shut down your heating, and your heart will be warm if you look at your big castle.
You know what the annoying thing is? I had 2 GW castles, and the GW castle wasn't bad. GW castle was really nice, and I had 2 of them. And then Dave Caves tried to make Carrickfergus castle out of it without asking me first, so he cut a load of the walls and stuff and glued them at weird angles, which was kind of aggravating. And then he fucked off to like Leitrim with it all. So say goodbye to my castle. Castle's gone. No castle now.
Speaking of castle, Crispin, is your castle coming along nicely?
Oh, the original Mighty Fortress, the polystyrene one. Paul.
Burn the builds to keep you warm. Yeah, that's a...
Mm.
Oh, see, Warbost, when did you creep in?
Oh, he's
Oh.
always been here. It's like a lot of the time I'll be sitting in their stream the whole time and I won't actually start talking until I've either had a skinful or until somebody says something that deserves me piping up. Because otherwise I just get to sit down and paint stuff. Because when I start typing, then I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah, I do that this also, and but I can barely contain myself. So I'm sitting here, and the keyboard is to my right, sitting on an angle, and I'm trying to type.
Oh, well, that's it. Because I have to roll back. This is where I do my hobby. And then I've got to come all the way over here if I want to do typing, and then go back to my hobby, and then back to my and in the end, you just go. It's easier just to sit here and drink. So,
Yes.
Mighty Fortress has gone ridiculous. But it's like anything that's XGW. It has a price on it that in no way is reflective of what you're getting. It's like, oh, out of production. It's like the fucking skeletons for the Dogs of War. The Cursed Company. They sell at fucking £12 each for a fucking skeleton. For fuck's sake. You're fucking kidding me. Don't do that.
Collectors are weird. We have established that.
Fucking insane is what that is, for Christ's sakes. Oh my Christ. Anyway. But
yes.
yeah.
Let's move
really,
on.
Really nice battle report, and I appreciate the arrows. I don't know if you heard me complaining about the lack of arrows in battle reports, but you know.
Maybe he has.
Boosh.
Not a puma. No, it's a helicopter. That's obvious.
Exactly. That's why we're here. Just to congratulate pathetic berserker on his ability to spot the difference between
no legs, no
a
tails,
helicopter,
doesn't eat
big
you.
cat.
Duh.
But yeah, he's been doing some prototyping in 3D, and I know how much Steve enjoys all the 3D printing stuff on the shows, so that's why we're here.
So we will be seeing print lines?
Not so much. There is one that I don't know whether or not it's been shot by ground-to-air machine guns or what. He says it's printing bugs, but I would just go, oh look, it's all been pew pew pew. However, the real reason we're here isn't the prototyping and printing. When you get further down, he got one of the actual Battlefront helicopters, which was apparently too small or something, put it on a scanner, a regular 2D flatbed scanner, and then use that to start extracting and sculpting in 3D the actual helichopper himself, which is a level of madness that I can't even comprehend. However, I'm fairly... Oh, no, his typo was staying, because I seen that bugger off, and I seen your comment that he needed to go back to that post, and I read it again and went, oh yeah, and I thought, I can just go in and edit this and fix it. I'm not fucking going to.
Yeah, I think I've seen...
Was it yesterday, or was it yesterday morning, or this morning you put that post up? Yeah, it was yesterday morning. Yeah, anyway. Oh no, he's fixed it now. I can go back and edit it to change it back to what it was before you told him.
Where was a typo?
The typo was he upped the poly count considerably. He'd missed an O.
Well...
See, that's what you get for telling people, Mick. Anyway. But yeah.
Could always up the cunt count.
Always. But, I mean, just the...
He's a man of determination and will.
Yeah. He scanned a fucking model kit, for fuck's sake.
Why would you?
to get the sizing, scan it in flat, and then just start pulling things out in whatever crazy. I mean, it's just. I'm sure Greystoke could probably work out how he did it, but I'm just madness, absolute madness. And I just really appreciate the level of insanity it's taken to get there. And I'm sure there's still things that he wants to tweak or do or blah 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 blah. But
I wish I had
for
that
for
amount
all
of time.
intents and purposes, what he's done is create his own model. And you know, holy
I
shit
think I need
balls.
to follow this closely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm sure Polly was happy.
I mean, I would never do it, and I would never print things out myself, because why? Why would I? But just watching somebody do this is fucking insanity. It's like when I sit down and watch somebody sculpt.
Yeah.
You know, it's something I couldn't do and have no wish to do. But you've got to appreciate the fucking talent that's got in. Pardon me.
If you ever have the chance to watch any professional sculptor live in the flesh in front of you, just don't talk to them, just stand and stare. You'll be amazed.
Even 3D, Luigi, who does a lot of stuff for Mantic in 3D, in CAD, was on a live stream for a Mantic Open Day during the digital lockdown. And he started off with a ball, a little grey lumpy ball on the screen. And Rob was just talking to him, and people were asking questions in the chat. And then after 45 minutes, he had sculpted more or less one of the new salamander captains that ended up on top of the can't remember the name of the fucking massive rhino beastie. But anyway, it was like 45 minutes. Bosh, I've sculpted this model, and you're going, oh well, that's kind of dramatic. You do you, Sonny Jumbo, you do you. And again, it's a skill set. It's a skill set I don't need, but by Christ, you have to appreciate that.
Yeah, he made it in Blender, says Nick.
Yeah, see, I didn't just make it up. I don't make shit up.
Nobody says you would.
Yeah, you're thinking. I often think it whenever I listen to myself. Oh, fuck me. That actually happened, McCabe.
That's why I'm never watching any reruns of my own show, because I would be baffled on what we were talking about.
Yeah. Also, to be all the Hitler chat. I mean, don't want to hear that when you're sober.
Never mention the war. So, next up is
past the duchy on the left-hand side, as they sang.
I'll see. We're returning to Alloyd.
Yeah. For many reasons. Because there's been a little flurry of activity, and in what can only be described as a scattergun approach, we have a converted sanguinary priest breaking out all the plastics. Some of the infamous workshop that we hear about all the time in the House of Water #BestHouse.
The Gwulu.
Yeah. So you can see it not covered in sawdust, which I imagined it would be, so did a bit of tidying up before we took the picture. Well done him. And then things like the Wastelanders, I think we started seeing a little while ago, and a fuckload of what should be Kings of War, ghouls and zombies, but he's mounted them on individual basis, so I'm very confused. I mean, theoretically, you could still use it for Kings of War, but I mean, just multi-base, man, multi-base.
Multipass. Are those the old Games Workshop vampires in the background?
No. Because for them to be old Games Workshop vampires on puddle bases, they would have to predate Arloyd.
Well, it's technically not uncommon for people to buy old stuff.
But once again, we go back to the, if it's old and it's got GW on it, people pay vastly more than they should.
Yeah.
But yeah, see the Reaper Ghost at the back, because I've got it in Bones clear plastic green, because I was using them for Spirit Host, which is quite good. You say they're not paying for me, and you've built approximately 1/3 of what I have, maybe less. You know,
Building
just
can
suck it the fuck up.
Building miniatures can be either a very zen-like experience or hell on earth,
No,
depending on.
they're really, really simple. At worst, they've got 4 parts: lower torso, upper torso, 1 arm, and a head. Most of them only have 3 parts: head, upper torso, lower torso. The thing was, Arnold wanted them all to look different because he didn't want repetition. But he's building regiments of 20 and hordes of 80, at which point, you're getting repetition. Just knuckle down and put them together. Just hammer through those fuckers, spray them all, walk away.
So it's basically self-inflicted harm
due
to a high level of I want this.
You know what it mentions? Didn't you mention in the past where to buy reprints of Grenadier? Yes, Mirliton, Mirliton, miniatures in Italy have them.
Yes, so
no one can miss my
the
nips.
nips are not to be overlooked on that Zen Green model.
Said no repetition. I've fucking no problem with repetition at all. I have Romans for my Ancients army where every model in a unit is the same model. So it's like if it's advancing with Gladius, it's 20 men all advancing with Gladius. We're all standing with Pilum at the ready. We're throwing Pilum, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and your workshop is still way too clean.
I imagine he took that photo just after he moved in, before he started doing work on anything. And if you go in there now, it's just hip deep in sawdust and full of hamsters, just hamsters as far as the eye can see, just making their nests there.
Oh, speaking of hamsters, I'm guessing you've seen that bar sign. We don't want hipsters. None of your
coming
vegetarian
in here with
foods, yada yada.
Furry cheeks.
And
Hamsters.
Weird hairstyle and your sawdust. Oh no, we meant hamsters. We don't want hamsters.
Either or.
Can be
sawdust
quite easily confused, a hamster and a hipster.
They're very much the same thing. Little furry bastards.
I was going to make a rude comment on hamsters and pipes and going up the back of someone, but then again,
I can't remember, Arloyd, if we've actually got to the bottom of your Wastelanders, and if they're for a specific game. I feel like we have, but I also feel like I drink a lot, and therefore it's difficult to tell sometimes. I had this fucking in-depth chat with this woman about whether or not we could fit in a themed week, and then I woke up. I swear to God, I had a fucking vivid 40-minute long conversation about whether or not we could do all this shit for a game that was coming to Kickstarter. And I woke up and it's like, none of that was real. I was like, I've still got my whole day to look at. This was fucking yesterday. I've still got my whole day to fucking go, oh my Christ. Oh, fuck you. Anyway, so that happens
when your
sometimes.
brain is fucking you up.
Yep. So anyway, what are the Wastelanders for? Are they for like Zone Alpha or Necromunda? Because there were Ash Waste. I've got Ash Waste Nomads from the first time they were released. No idea. You're just doing post-apocalyptic people for the shits and giggles, the giggly shits, because you never know.
Or palate cleansing.
I have to find some sort of post-apocalyptic game now and send it to you. And then make you write a battle report.
Isn't there something from One Page Rules?
Post-apocalyptic? No.
Yeah. That's not good.
Don't worry, there are plenty of other post-apocalyptic games. I think I've got a couple of them here. But you can't have any of these. I mean, even Rogue Stars could be interesting. Tell Tell you what, I'll send you a post-apocalyptic rule set if you can find where the fuck Age of Magic is gone for Saga. Anyway,
So,
I like your work.
hopping past our little one, we're getting to who's now on the line?
No, there's no point in even considering the 41st millennium anything, to be brutally honest. It's just nothing. Just move on. I seen somebody in Discord the other day thought we're all GW fanboys. I'm going, have you met us?
Have you ever watched any of our shows?
Oh, so good.
Zoidpinhead does Conan.
Yeah, more Conan. Because we've
Conan
not
is
seen any
always
Conan
nice.
since we looked at the Darkoff stuff earlier, which was practically Conan. We're GW fanboys because people weren't immediately jumping on the Attilan Rough Riders and going their shit. Some people were going, oh look, it's new versions of Attilan Rough Riders. That takes me back to when I was a kid. You own that game but never played it. The cry of many a Kickstarter backer where they've gone, if I give you this money, you'll give me 1 million miniatures and then I will never play the game. However, and I think, if memory serves, Zoidpinhead's got form for this, where they've just picked a Kickstart-backed board game and just went through. I think they did it with, I want to say they did it with Hellboy and something else, and they just trucked through it. So, you know, it will balloon out of proportion from where it is, but by the end of it, they will have a massive game with everything painted, which is something that Dave will never have for Assassin's Creed. He took them off the bases and put them onto clear acrylics, yeah. Which weirdly I was going to order a bunch more clear acrylics because I want to order some. Fuck, I meant to order those actually because I bothered the guy on Sunday. Anyway, I digress.
I have to confess, when I watched read the topic, I was taking too long to realize what he meant by TMG.
I have no idea what TMG is.
The miniatures game.
Right, sure, if you say so.
It says in the project description, Conan, the miniatures game.
If 100%, I'm not saying you're a liar. You know,
But
not disputing that in any way, shape, or form. The very first picture, by the way, which shows them all laid out, and then in their individual component trays, which again, presumably cost probably as much as most board games. It's just, I mean, as Too Much Coffee Man once said, if you're going to do something, do it to excess. Oh, Crispin, did you hear that Dungeon Saga is getting a second edition or a reboot next year? Somebody was talking to Ronnie at Essen. I don't know whether or not Ronnie was supposed to say that was happening, but it's Ronnie. So yeah, I'll be curious because I really like Dungeon Saga. The original miniatures are nice for one-piece pre-colored bendy fucking board game pieces. I like them. They're decent. But what they've done for Hellboy and The Walking Dead in the last 10 years is a massive step up. So I really can't wait to see what the fuck they do for Dungeon Saga.
This is a lot of miniatures for one board game.
It's worth doing, Rumbly. It's a good game. I've got my Kickstarter Dungeon Journal.
But Dungeon Saga
I can replay all the other.
Isn't related to Saga, is it?
No, it's not related to Saga. So you need a Kings of War based thing, like a McCabe sucks Ronnie's cock or something. Throw up Donald Sutherland pointing as if he's just spotted us in a back alley. There you go. Oh, I've got Vanguard up the wazoo as well. I've seen some people complaining recently in the Kings of War forum going, oh, I really hope when they go back to Vanguard they make it simpler and easier because it's, you know, it's very complicated and there's a lot of rules and blah blah blah. I'm going, but that's the whole point of the game. If you don't want that, then don't buy that game. You massive bellends.
Why does this guy have his axe backwards?
He might be about to swing it. Maybe he's just going to strike to stun, which was something you could do in D&D. Strike to stun. Because he has to interrogate the person afterwards.
Odd. These are gaming pieces. I'm guessing there's no way that he accidentally put them on wrong. So I'm guessing that's how they came from the box.
Oh, has anybody been watching the trailers for Hate the Movie? Just what I see Pete saying about Adrian Smith drawing things. Yeah, Vanguard is meant to be a proper skirmish game, and that doesn't just mean it's a simple game where people don't rank up. It has more complex rules because you're not playing with massive fucking armies. You're only playing with 10 men aside or less or more, whatever the fuck it is you happen to be running with. So you can do all the intricate things and the clever maneuvers and the blah blah blahs and throw in the additional rules. And somebody's going, oh well, with all of these new ways to play Kings of War, I hope they revisit Vanguard and make it easier and less reading and stuff. Well, no, I suggest you fuck right off, because the people who like Vanguard for what it is. And if you can't be arsed reading, then fuck yourself. Playing traffic. Can't.
It always baffles me. I mean, if you have a complex game and you like it, it shouldn't be too hard to simplify rules. It's the other way around that's much more complicated.
Correct. Making
Because you
simple
can
rules
just dumb
complicated
down
is
rules
more complicated.
to a level where you feel comfortable.
I mean, yeah, sure, you could. I can't see it for Vanguard, because Vanguard is a command and control structure, and the whole point is that you've got command dice, and you can spend them to do various things, and there's all the interactions and interplays and synergies within that. It would be like Soap going, like somebody telling Soap that Infinity's okay and all, but you know what? When they redo Infinity for 5th edition, they should really make a game that's simpler than Code 1, and then just sit back and wait for Soap to explode. It's that type of thing.
Remote detonation.
Yeah. Hit locations, Farmer Knights. Nice.
You could argue that BattleTech is complicated if you go full hog and mental with a
oh, it's not.
Massive
it's an entirely appropriate example, Soap. You should make Infinity more like 40k 9th. I'm still waiting, because 10th edition is like three weeks off or something. Probably. I mean, it's been a few months since they released 8th or 9th. But many years ago, there was a website called Portent. It was a GW fan forum type of thing. It was Warhammer, it was Mordheim, it was.
Isn't that still around?
40k. Portent changed to Warseer. I've not been on Warseer in fucking forever, so I couldn't honestly tell you if it was still around. But Portent closed, and then they opened Warseer, so they're not the same. Portent rumors were a good read. But tell you what,
closed March 2005.
oh, there you go. So way back in the day, Rumbly, there used to be a GW website that had a rotating login, so you could go in and see work in progress and stuff, but it was only staff. And then what you would do is I would go on there and take screenshots of everything and then upload them onto Portent, and I was not alone. But somebody, and I mean, at that stage, 2005, that's 15 years, that's probably like 6 editions ago. So they did out the Future of Games Workshop over the next 50 years, and each of the editions of 40k, and they started going on, like this happens and this happens and this happens. And when it was like simplify. And when they hit 10th edition, they said something like there was only one stat. It is Kewl, Kewl, like what the kids would say. All Space Marines have a Kewl value of 10. all other armies have a QL value of 1. You roll a d6 and add your QL value to see who wins the game. Somebody asked what would happen if 2 Space Marine armies played each other, and the games designer blew their top saying nobody would do that within their narrative universe because people wouldn't play games like that. And I'm just waiting for 10th edition to come out to see how close to that QL plus d6 stat their rule set actually is.
Nick has a great suggestion for the next 10th edition starter set: Grots versus Nudist Slanish.
Oh, they're dangly bits just at head height for a grot. Thwapping around, just running through a forest, just going, just run through their legs.
I should be very honest with myself. If there were a starter set with huge amounts of grots, I would just buy the sets for the grots, sell off the rest, and have huge army of grots.
The art was disturbing. The art's supposed to be disturbing though for Slaanesh. They were all about pleasure and pain, and then GW went, but we want to sell this to 14-year-olds.
But
Let's
also,
remove the nipples.
They couldn't post it on Facebook and Instagram anymore.
That's true. They would not be allowed to do that.
I tried to access the Warseer site, and it seems like the link is down. You can get the archived version of ported.net. That still works and sends you to Warseer.
Archive version.
But Warseer doesn't work.
Hang on a minute. There's something on Twitter. I don't know what Twitter is. Warseer Reborn, 1st of December 2016. Reborn from the ashes. Join us on our Facebook site.
Oh.
Or Twitter. Or on our site for gaming. So it was working as of 2017, a mere 5 years ago.
Yeah, but currently Warseer.com is not working.
Well, we'll not worry about that. I haven't worried about Warseer or Portent in a long fucking time. Warseer servers that we worked on. Wow.
I don't believe you.
Slaanesh used to be about the pastels, now it's just purple and pink. Yeah, that's true.
Well,
Slaanesh was great.
You could still paint them in pastels if you want.
You could if you wanted to, but you know, it's all about the slaves, wasn't it? Slaves. Yeah, slaves with Slaanesh and corn. I mean, there's not many pastels in here. A lot of black gothic art that would have made Hieronymus Bosch go, you know what, lads, I've changed my mind. I want to just paint pretty pictures of landscapes from now on. Oh my god, look at that. It's all good. It's also good. We should look at the next thing.
Yes, the next project. That would be a nice idea.
Yep. This one I thought was would throw it in there for people who aren't great at painting and just want to splash some colour on a miniature and just get away with you know. Sometimes. Oh yeah, don't worry, Demon. They're both there. Both there.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, not everybody's got the time, patience, or talent to actually do a lot of high quality painting. And it's nice that somebody like Elmer will come along and just go, you know what, you don't have to be a good painter, you can just slap some color down and move on.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Yep.
Totally not professional.
I imagine he's definitely slapped his chops. A hook will bit your tongue off. The Arnhem Zola is, how can I put this? Decent. It's a decent Arnhem Zola.
Above average?
Yeah, presumably he's used that one thick coat from Contrast or something. I don't know.
I'm sure that's just inks, nothing more.
Yeah. Maybe he just did what soap does, which is just take a picture on a green screen and then go in and do it all using AI technology in a PC. He's never actually paid on those models.
Could you imagine the outcry if somebody would enter a painting competition on the interwebs with pictures that are not really painted?
Oh, Manny Faces meets Visionaries. Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light. The arrows turn, the swords rebel. May nothing pierce my mighty shell.
You're a turtle now?
Oh, Visionaries. Visionaries was class. It started off with the future, and then all of a sudden, all the power going off, and people, going, "What the fuck's happened here? My flying car no longer flies." And then some mad old wizard going, "I've stolen your technology. All you bitches live in the Dark Ages now." Goes through a maze of shit, and if you survive it, I might give you powers. It's fucking great. You second-hand Visionaries with missing holograms. That is disappointing soap. I still have. I think Virgin had a sale on, and we're selling the Visionaries DVD, which I have around here somewhere. The entire collection of Visionaries. Fucking great.
Were the toys these pseudo knights where they had a big stand banner pole where there was a hologram on top?
Yes.
And in the series, there came something out of it and made them go. I remember that.
Like a mighty shell, and it would then cover them in a bubble to protect them. Yes.
See? Yeah, I never really watched that.
Power to turn into a giant snail. There was the one who turned into, or didn't turn into, he summoned a massive raging monkey. It would just go ape shit and kick the fuck out of everything. It was great. But yeah, Elmer, may or may not be French. Can't remember. However, decent painter, has to be said. I mean,
at this point, we need something to lift my
Oh, you're looking for mold lines now?
Yes.
Scrolling back.
I need something to.
Good times.
Give us the next and last for the evening.
What? We're not even going to stay here and bask in the glorious magnificence of Elmer. I mean, look at the sweet subtle blending on Black Widow's. Oh, Black Widow's brunette. Look, she's a brunette. She wasn't. She wasn't in the comics. She wasn't in the film. She either redhead or blonde, strawberry blonde. He's ruined it. He's fucked it all up. It's all fact. Just
all credit down the drain.
Down to June the 16th. Go. I'm pretty sure you'll find she wasn't a brunette, mate. You may have to strip that model and start again. Boosh. There we go. That'll cheer you up.
So who's last in line? Who gets kicked in the teeth now?
Gets kicked in the teeth. After that, I thought we would abuse Dan Lee.
Oh look,
kids will do it.
He did a bust.
Yeah, it's always easier to paint big things because there's so much more. You don't have to worry about.
And he's only missing the diorama for his hobby bingo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely certain, but I think we may have all lost this year. If Dan completes the hobby bingo with another terrain piece / diorama, then he has done all that, and I think I'm still. If you take out all the multitudes of armies that I've painted for the studio and shit like that, if you take that away, I've got next to nothing to show for this year.
Well, to be honest, I don't think we should take that away because.
No, but I have to because it's not mine. It doesn't live with me. It's terrible.
The hobby bingo doesn't state that they need to be yours. You just must have done them.
Sure. So he got the bust from Thingiverse, which I'm pretty sure means it's free because I don't know how Thingiverse works. But you should probably. I've put the link in there. Just go in and ask him where he got it from. You might get the link off him. You can, because you've got a 3D printer. You can print it yourself.
And it's a figure from one of these computer games kids play.
Oh, there's Dan there. Hello. Didn't I know you were in the chat? I can't remember. I may or may not have said hello to you earlier.
Deus Ex Mankind Divine Jensen bust. That's a mouthful.
Sure, it is. I like the fact that somebody appears to have hit him in the forehead with the hammer. a hexagonal front on it, just like trying to cave a skull in. All it did was piss him off. It's a really nice piece of work, though. I've never played any of these Deus things, but that's got a very anime evil villain character.
He reminds me a bit the face. Just speaking about the face, like I envision veterinary Lord.
Yeah, well, he needs the hair slicked back a bit more.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, very narrow and angular.
Oh, needs hands going tip and tip.
Oh yeah, staple your fingers. Staple the fingers. But yeah,
He's
bust
the
was,
hero. Everybody can be the hero. Fuck it off.
the bust was just really, really. I mean, it was.
I think
such a departure. I think more than anything else, because I'm not sure. There was a Kratos bust.
Yeah, he did one.
Yeah. But that being like a super sharp sci-fi one, I really like the look of it. I don't know how accurate it is because all the pictures of Mr. Deus Ex from the mood board above it are all very glowy orange.
Yeah, so but that's because of the game. That's a very cyberpunky neon-y light.
Sure, if you say so. So I don't know whether or not there was a different color palette chosen for that, or if that is actually how they look when they're not in the game type of weird glowy lighting, like fucking Neo in the Matrix. But I do like it. It's very, very angular, very French. Very louche. How do you find approaching the busts then? Because that's second or third that you've had a wrap on it then. Because I always find when moving up, the first time I try to do a bust, I try to do it like I would paint a 28mm model, and it just doesn't look right. It's not a new skill set, but it's a new approach to the amount of shading and highlighting and blending that you need to do, and that you should be doing.
I was looking at the Orc bust that Cromlech has out for Orctober.
Yeah. Yes, I want to do it. Definitely want to do it. I'm doing it now. I'm already ordering it.
Yeah, but it's way out of my price league currently. Yeah. I just can't.
See the buff shoulder pads? No, I'm not talking to you, fuck nuts. See the buff shoulder pad type of quilting thing going on there? Is that a type of leather? Because I've seen a really good way of painting it. And it was, in fact, I'll get you the link. But for a large bust like that, it really helps it look more natural. Although you might not want it to look natural because as a whole, with his very angular face, he looks very cartoonish anyway. But there were a group, I'm fairly certain it's shut down these days. Thanks for that. Delightful man. Yeah. I don't know if you're aware of Painting Buddha.
Well, I think Danley did actually achieve what he wanted to do. Let it look like fabric or leather on the creases.
Yeah, he can achieve whatever he wants. I'm not saying he didn't achieve it. I'm just saying. You're saying you can't be arsed doing. Yeah, Ben. You can't be arsed doing more detail. That video, he does a method of painting leather where it comes down to your base, not even your base coat, your primer level. So you're probably going to have to skip that because that's just the finished model. it will skip back because this is midway through. But the whole thing is essentially having like a zenith prime. So you've got the spots, the little grain of the white over the black, and then go back in and paint like little dashes and the distressed levels and stuff with white paint before you go anywhere near it. And then it was just done essentially in glazes made out of ink wash and army painter, strong tone and soft tone. And they do one that this video is about the soft leather, the like the buff leather, and then there's one with the dark leather later on. But you just do it and then let it dry, and then do like another layer and let it dry, another layer, and every layer gives you more depth and gives a really realistic leather look. I used it for Jerry can at one stage, the dark leather one. I found for 28mm, it's probably, unless you're doing a character model, it's too much. But when you're working on a larger piece like that, it gives you the look like you've spent ages doing all the striations and the stress on the leather. You'll probably see it on the video about the dark leather better than this one, because he does the little chips and stuff on the belt beforehand. But it's literally just spray prime black, zenith white, and then go, okay, it would be stressed at the edges, do little dashes and stuff, or maybe there's like a little nick here, just like paint little white lines fucking wherever, and then just go in and start doing this mix of inks. And the tone gives a flatter coverage and a matte finish, which is why that's in there. But it was just fascinating to watch. So one for your next time you do a bust or diorama or something, just change it up.
Yeah, that's painting Buddha for you.
Yep.
And I think we do a bust now as well.
Right. Sure. Okay. That's fine. I'll stay here then.
I need to stop
Hello.
you before you burn out.
Forgot.
We need to preserve your energy for next week.
I'm gonna have carnal knowledge after you go. Just saying.
Yeah. Thanks everybody.
I like the fact you just can't see it when it's up here. Carnal knowledge.
It's like ghost beer. It's not really there, so it doesn't count.
Yep.
Thanks everybody who was here live, and you cunts out there in YouTube land.
Lazy fuckers.
Why are you not here when we're live? It's much more fun to have interaction.
Massive pricks.
You could also make rude comments in the chat.
Oh, you definitely could.
Yes, you should read what people are saying in chat.
Oh my God. One person just said that they'd rather have Liz Truss than you. How bad is that?
That's below the belt.
Is it though? Is it? Oh, how's Lettuce Truss getting on? That's the real question. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing about the idea that somebody did a Lettuce Truss.
Oh, she's having a fucking disco tonight. Oh, she's all wrapped up from night time. They were playing whale noise. She had her sleeping mask on the other night, and it was just playing whale sound to help her get to sleep.
Oh,
she's got some sort of dodgy music playing tonight.
a lettuce with a cuddly toy, some annoying lights, and a sleeping mask.
Yeah, well, you know, that's Le Truss.
Warburst, yes, I know there's on-screen chat, and we have decided at the very beginning we don't want that.
He says we decided it's his show. He decided.
Me, myself, and I.
I don't. To be brutally honest, I don't even care if you chat there. Ooh, I mean, you know.
Well, old man now needs to take a leak. We'll see you again next week, everybody. Maybe I will be with Warburst's stream on
Can't believe Jackie Chan is gone. Is Jackie Chan dead?
What?
Am I learning breaking news from the Liz Truss Lettuce chat?
I better hope that that's a bad joke.
Who knows?
Well, tune in next week for the conclusion of this very exciting cliffhanger. I'll be going now. Have fun, people. Paint all the minis.
I could tell you the answer, but you can look up yourselves.
Goodbye.